My interest in the S&D started with this Derek Cross photograph of a northbound through express passing the village of Wellow, published in 1961. I took some photographs. This is one at the same location, and also made sound recordings inspired by Peter Hanford's excellent work. This was the machine,
old transistor,
powered by a hefty set of batteries. Many honeymooners going to Bournemouth started from Bristol, going via Mangotsfield to Bath Green Park. My journey as far as Evercreech Junction with a still camera was destined to pave the way
for more serious work at a later date.
Filming wasn't even a gleam in my eye as Bath's post-war prefabs crawled by on the stiff climb out.
My journey on this occasion took me north to south as far as Evercreech Junction. My wife and I went underground at Rithington around this time. Quite an experience.
Climbing again past the North Somerset line, we come to Midsummer Norton. Chilcompton's mini-tunnel is almost a case of blink and you miss it. Descending past the local stone-built signal box at Windsor Hill brings us to Shepton Mallet. After a stop at Shepton, we descend past Evercreech itself to Evercreech Junction. Leaving the train here allowed me to poke around just a little. It's difficult to imagine half a century of time has passed since. Meanwhile, Ken Barter had been filming trains here and there, and at the 11th hour I persuaded him I could work alongside him
and make
a sound synchronized film record of the S&D.
So we had a very competent cameraman and an enthusiastic sound recordist working together.
Audio tape was edited on this machine, accounting for 1 of the 3 years of editing time. Being the final winter, conditions were at times tough, which did make it a very genuine record, appreciated at the many subsequent screenings on a sound synchronized projector following 3 years of editing. The then Somerset and Dorset Circle premiering it in 1971. Many more screenings followed. Transport film archivist John Huntley encouraged me to make a transfer to video. Technology moves on though, and a second transfer by telecine, in other words direct scanning, much as you would with your PC but much faster, was undertaken in 2009. This has generally brought new detail to the film.
Shot on 8mm Kodachrome. Ken and I shared the expense.
Battling against winter weather needed great care at times. Ken is trying to get his exposure right here. The last snows added interest, but also underlined the difficulty of keeping the railway moving safely. The local hunt was clearly enjoying the weather. Before Bill May went on to the great Railway in the Sky, where trains never run late, he wrote that a driver was given 10 shillings if the hounds stopped his train.
Some of you may remember Bill. Now over to cameraman Ken Barter.
The last through freight had run in June 1965, but withdrawal of passenger trains had to wait upon replacement bus services. One of the bus operators defaulted at the 11th hour, and the line was reprieved for a brief spell. Then came the worst winter for many years. It was almost as though nature were aiming a final blow at the almost prostrate body of the S&D. Some of the few remaining trains performed their intricate manoeuvres about the junction at Temple Combe. From the 5th of January 1965, a so-called interim emergency service was introduced. consisting of morning and evening trains each way on the Burnham branch, and 4 trains in each direction on the main line, stopping at all stations, 5 trains between Templecombe and Bournemouth. No train left Bath for the south between 8:15 a.m. and 4:25 p.m, and there was no longer any reasonable through service from Bath to Bournemouth. All this amounted to something worse than the minimum bus services stipulated in the Minister's consent to closure. The official reasons were given as shortage of staff and insufficient motive power to maintain services at their previous level, which was low enough. And here we see a train from Evercreech Junction to Bournemouth, backing out of Templecombe, and now coming forward under the Southern Region main line. The snow lay thick on the ground as a northbound train struggled up to Shepton Mallet. Branch train from Highbridge to Evercreech Junction leaves Shapwick, whilst a Swan struggles to take off from the ice alongside. On one memorable morning, February the 5th, the Mendips were shrouded in fog and the railway was still in the grip of snow and ice. The morning train from Templecombe to Bath had been stalled for an hour between Evercreech and Shepton Mallet. There its engine gave up the ghost and was removed, and a relief was summoned from Templecombe. The road was clear, but the engine couldn't respond to the call. However, a down train managed to struggle through. And shortly after, the relief engine from Templecombe arrives for the up train. The down train sets off for the south as the relief engine takes over the up train to Bath. By this time, the displaced passengers had miraculously made other arrangements and had vanished into the fog. The relief was able to deal with the slippery gradient toward Bath, though there were no passengers left to appreciate its efforts. The failed engine was still expected in its parlous state to deal with the afternoon up train, and indeed just struggled through in the gloom very late, as we shall see. And so the S&D just about survived another winter.